Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm with the wonderful Wolf, and this is just general share advice and not personal advice. What's that thing that just popped up?
I know.
Get
It's
away.
like Microsoft Learn.
Yes.
Because you obviously don't know your stuff from Microsoft.
As long as it's only Microsoft popping up, we don't have anything else popping
Exactly.
up.
Although we were going to be talking about something that might pop up later.
Yeah, we are. Okay, but this is just general share advice, not personal advice. And Wolf, let's get going, because there's a few stories that put out some announcements today, and then we're going to have a look at Einstein's. What looks good on Einstein's, which is anything particularly that looks exciting. So let's have a look at DUR. So Duratech. Actually, Wolf, we put this. This is not far off. We had it as a hot stock recently. I'll tell you what, not far off being a doubler, mate.
Yeah, I know. This is, how interesting that you've put it on. Of course, when it first looked pretty good, but when we looked at the story, remember by the time we looked at the story, I thought this could go on for a little bit of a run, right, over the next few weeks, and it has been delivering. It had a couple of weeks that it pushed back, but generally speaking, it's delivering, and this is on the back of the fundamentals where they had upgrades, right? Upgrades, and then you've got more work that they're winning. What a perfect combination.
Yeah, stock looks good, and obviously if you're in it, you're still holding it. It's not giving you any reason to sell it as yet.
In fact, Dave, if he does have a bit of a pullback, you're probably buying this, because today's 100 million contract, that's almost 50 million a year. That's significant. So this still could look pretty good over the next few weeks, I'd say.
No, it looks very good. Now, MedAdvisor, MDR. I mean, Wolf, if it looked like that by the end of the week, you'd like this share price. You'd like the price action. I'd be waiting for the end of the week before I sort of jumped on board. You could actually starting to sell down now. So if it actually went, that's why you got to be careful. If it went below 28, it's not going to look so good. But the daily doesn't look bad. So there's a bit going on here. What's happening? MDR.
Yeah, look, I think this is just one of those look at me, right? Pop up today. And when you look at the announcement today, the numbers seem decent enough from first glance. You go, okay, well, this is all right. This is growing revenues, going to profitability. Is this something that we should be looking at? But I remember, I'm looking at this. Claude was looking at this. We don't like it, right? As a fundamental story, there was some issues with the management and so on. So from us, I think we just got to give it way more time. So definitely, at least the very least, wait for the end of the week, right, to see what happens, whether there's a bit of a sell-off and taking profits, and maybe give it a few more weeks. But we'll see how it ends up at the end of the week. And I'm sure I'm going to actually probably ask Claude again when we speak on Wednesday what he thinks about this. But it's fundamentally maybe not the best story for me, but you never know. There's always a trade on stuff, isn't there?
Definitely. Sequoia. So this is from memory. Is this financial services company?
Yes, it is financial services group, Dave.
That's quite a sort of dramatic fall for a business of this nature, which has been very, very stable for a number of years. So, ¿qué pasa, Wolf?
Yeah, look, it's interesting, isn't it? And financial groups can be problematic at sometimes, right? Whether this is a perfect storm for them, I don't know, but I'd certainly been putting this in my doghouse right now, because they've come out with an downgrade to the EBITDA, and it's not just coming from one business unit, which is they had maybe a misstep somewhere. It's coming from about 4 different business units, right? So I'm sort of questioning whether the management has been running the ship properly here in the last few weeks. So I'm very skeptical now, and I would certainly not be touching this when you see issues coming from 3 or 4 business units, and that is a big red flag for me. So I'm not touching this, Dave, and I want to see more evidence to see how this is traveling. Pass.
All right, S32. Been trending, good looking stock. It's holding quite nicely above that 450 level. My question to you on that announcement, do you think it can go on with it and get as high as 5?
There's always a possibility, to get to 5, obviously depending on commodities, the underlying commodities. I'm actually having a look through beforehand, and the stuff they've got. So coal is still going reasonably okay. Copper is doing quite well. Manganese is doing quite well. So there's definitely things in place for S32 to have another good quarter or two. So is $5 out of the question? No, I think it's definitely a possibility, but it can be fluctuating there. So I could look. This is the thing. I could see this easily back to 4, or I can easily see this at 5. This is how this stock is always pretty good as a trade, somewhere along the line.
All right. Yeah, listen, for me, I'd be holding it as long as it holds above that 450. Yep. I don't see any reason.
Yeah, look, exactly. If you're in this, it's a hold, but it's always difficult to see where it might go next. But it does have the positive science behind it, at least. All right, A1M, Dave. And I know there's been a couple of questions because I think you talked about it maybe a week or two ago that it looked good above the trend lines. We had a few questions on Ask the Analyst. So today they come out with an update quarterly, and it wasn't great, Dave. And I tell you why it wasn't great is because the old mine they've got there is actually loss-making. So I have to question any company that's got a loss-making operation that's been going for some time and it's loss-making. Why? Yeah. Right? You got to say why. Can they improve this to make it a profitable operation? It's questionable. When a small company tries to run an old mine, it's always questionable because maybe they just don't have the expertise, maybe just don't have the clouts. There's various reasons why, and of course you've got the commodities as well playing for and against you sometimes. So it's not easy, and especially in an environment right now where a lot of companies are saying the costs in the mining industries are going through the roof. This is not going to help. I'm not touching this at all.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what we did say about it is that not to get into it because you don't want to buy these stocks, Wolf, when they weak stories when they just jumped above the water level. You want to see them do a bit of breaststroke or front crawls start moving again. So,
but you know what? Even this environment, this is a pretty high copper environment, and they can't make money in this environment. You've got to really, question this.
Well, a sell then if anyone's got it. So 2 coal stocks. A good announcement. I mean, SMR maybe it's had a little bit of a run. It might edge up. If it holds above that 350, it could edge up a little bit higher. But I think people would be looking maybe at taking short-term profits in that.
Yep.
And TER again, you got a lovely still a lovely little stop loss just under 90, about 98. Maybe edge up a little bit more, but it's looking a little bit like profit-taking time maybe, or for those short-term traders. Wolf.
There's one thing I just want to quickly show everyone. Can you just bring up the SMR announcement? Because we've got this on our trading economics, the price for coal, but it's thermal coal. I just want you to see what it looks like for the actual metallurgical coal. So bring up that announcement from today, and they've got actually a chart of the coal for the last few months. Quite interesting, and how different it looks to the actual chart of thermal coal.
All right, bear with me. I'll just
that's all right. Because this will give you a reason why it's looking so good, right? So keep going down, and they've got a really nice big chart of the coal prices. There you go. Look at that. That's actually a pretty good chart, Dave, because it's come back down in August 2022 to some lows, $200. It had a bit of a spike back to 300, had a bit of a pullback now back to 300, over 300 again, and it's looking quite bullish. And they're talking about it in the whole in the presentation today that it's still looking quite good. It's actually getting probably might even go higher. So what am I looking at $400 again? Possibly. This is why probably SMR. If I'm going to be playing any coal stocks, maybe this is still a very good place to maybe play with.
Wolf, and I think there's another one, CRN as well. Correct?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So let's have a look at CRN and see how they're tracking. And again, so
not at all.
That's most probably a better play because it's a little bit bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, that it is. But both, I reckon you can probably play both quite easily. And like I said, maybe there's a switch here going from thermal going to metallurgical coal. Just on the charts themselves, the coal charts.
Interesting, Wolf. Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. On that note, Wolfie,
Yep.
we haven't actually come up with a trade yet, but we're going to go and have a look through Einstein's.
There's plenty of trades on Einstein.
Well, I want to just go through the buy signals, see which
Yeah,
ones
okay.
you like. So
Let's go.
we got Metcash.
Yep, good.
Good story. Woodside.
Yep.
You know, oil strong. You know, could have a good week.
That.
CSL looking pretty
Loving
yummy.
it.
Yeah. TCL. That was an interesting. Listen. You know what? It's 3 or 4% in it, and then move on, right?
Bottom of my list of the buy signals, but yes, definitely.
I mean, it's a dividend stable sort of story. Owns the ring of steel around Sydney, doesn't it?
That's right.
Well,
you.
XTE.
Yes.
Very nice sort of buy signal, Wolf. Oh, can you believe it?
Yes.
WTC.
I can believe it.
You know, look, it's trending quite nicely. It looks like it could go and retest, say, $59. So ALU looks like it could retest just under 40. So
yeah, I love this one. This is a good one. LAU.
yeah, well, you like the story as well. So you know, I've seen all the lithium stocks jumping today, right? And tell me, is the lithium price moved?
No, I'm looking at it right now. It hasn't, and it's still 477.
Okay, so well, let's keep to our you know, our fundamental technical view on this. You know, if it has a jump up to $5, take the profit.
Yep, agree.
CK, one of the coal plays. Again, you're saying coal looking good. Now I think they are more coking coal, aren't they? Yeah, so more what you're looking at, a little bit more like SMR, a little bit more like CRN. And this still one Parabellum, really nice bicycles. So I'm going to be really interested to see if that goes through, because that is a good buy.
Is there an announcement coming? You know, that's the thing. That's the possibly something happening there.
Well, you wonder.
Funny enough, Dave, just from those buy signals, a lot of big stories on there, like really quality.
Well, excellent. And I'll tell you what though, Wolf, when I went through all the stocks, so I go through every single stock, and I don't, you know, I do it one by one. So I don't put it on a machine like most of the guys do, because when I'm trying to find a signal, I'm looking at a lot more than just the signal. You're looking at how it's moved before. You're looking at the character of the story. There's a lot more than you're looking at than just a computer going, oh, it had a breakout, right? So, but although there were some good stories, there was a lot of bad ones still. The market's still full of some pretty awful trending stories. And again, okay, Telstra, you know, telling on bullish stories, PMV, which again, PMV looks excellent.
Yeah.
Lovisa was on last week. I put it on this week because I really do like the price action of this story. Gin, okay, you know, you could see it trending or trading back up to $18. AX1, again, another retailer. ADH, again, the retailers still. Maya, I mean, hello. You've got to. I remember when it had its first breakout, and okay, it took 2 months for it goes higher again, and it might do the same. But you feel, give this 6 months, Wolf. It could go. This is having a beautiful run, Maya.
I can't say anything about Maya.
Yeah, I know. We don't like the story, but maybe you never know. So RCT, a little casino in the middle of nowhere, right? So where is it? It's in Vietnam, is it? Somewhere?
No. I think it's up on Townsville or something, or Cairns.
Oh, Townsville, Cairns. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, hang on. You know, big city. Well, Queenslanders here.
Yeah, but at least I'll tell you, they haven't been done for laundering, which is good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not yet.
No, they're honest in towns.
We're all honest here in Queensland.
Yeah.
No money laundering whatsoever.
TWE looks good. Breakout again with China, looking very good. Energy. Now, this is a hot stock. And I phoned you and I said, listen, Wolfie, you should look at Sols, right? And I was saying, look at this because, you know, I'm thinking, you know, for the fun for you. But the reason I like it, I think I called it the hottest stock of the century, because if you're going to have a hot stock of the century, it'd most probably be Sols that have lifted their dividend sort of every year for the last 100 years. I mean, they've been a fantastic company, and they had that sort of run up to, you know, $40. But what I like about it, Wolf, is some of the companies, like obviously, New Hope Coal, which they own, is doing very well for them at the moment. And I saw Brickworks actually charging up and looking like a really good chart. So possibly good news coming there. So it's an interesting way to play those two stories. You know, they've got their fingers in every pie. Even little Lindsay LAU, they've got their 20%. They're buying agricultural products.
Dave, which
you know what? But if I had to buy, right now I was thinking if I bought a stock, I had to buy, because I will have a grandson next year, right? If I had to put like $100 in a stock over, or $200, is it $200 in a stock for him? It's this sort of story, right, where they've delivered consistently, where they're also, for me, they're great in inflation hedge, because
Dave, this is the closest we've got to Buffett. This is the company closest we've got to Buffett, right? It's a long-term investing in companies, diversified in various sectors. They are just looking for good long-term investments. It doesn't matter what it is. And this is exactly what the Buffett strategy is, right? Pretty similar. I mean, obviously it's not run by one dude, but the management has been pretty competent for a long time here.
Yeah, absolutely love it. And
the only thing I have to say, right? You are absolutely mad, and you think about outside the square when you put this into energy stocks. This is just shows you how great you are. You're thinking, I'm going to put this under the energy stocks, SOL. Okay, White Haven. It's the man is a genius.
It's funny, it just came up on the system under energy, most probably because they have got a little bit of a New Hope in it. But anyway,
sorry, not White Haven. Well, New Hope,
it's about, anyway, don't blame me for that. Blame the provider of
I have to take the Mickey out of you. You know that. Come on.
Yeah, you do. I'm just trying to think where that one came from. Anyway, say no more. Oh yeah, look, it's not just ingenious Dave. It's also a market index that puts them under energy.
Well, if this is an energy stock, we're in the wrong job.
Well, I wonder what hang on, let's have a look at let's see what the ASX put them under. Anyway, we won't bother with that.
Doesn't matter. It's good. It's good. I'm liking it. The stories are very, very good. So I think this is a great choice for stock.
So anyway, just to absolutely put shame on the story, we did say we're saying up to 32, up to $33.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Could be a nice short-term trade. Okay.
Yes.
I feel so embarrassed about that. I feel like I've just discredited a nice. It's like trading a good company like that. I feel embarrassed. Actually embarrassed with myself. Worley Parsons looks very, very good. Right, looks like it go for a little bit of a run up to 17.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks a little bit of a breakout. Again, you've got another coal play with Yao, which again I think is more your coking coal from Memory Wolf. VEA had a nice little run up, maybe a bit of resistance at $3, but generally speaking, a good candle like that, it's got a chance to break through.
Yep.
Obviously, New Hope, surprise. In the banks, CBA looking good. Our dividend stock Sun looking good.
Yep.
IAG was an interesting one. Right. Okay. So this interested me. I'll put it at high risk because insurers can be, but you've got to like this, right? This is like breaks out to a sort of closes on a 12-month high, 52-week high, which a lot of the trades to look at. Good strong candle last week. It breaks over $5. Bang bang. You'd look at that and think, come on, you got to retest 550.
Dave, we've been talking about pretty strongly about insurance space in a higher interest rate environment. This is the time for them to actually show something. And I would not be surprised this gets up to 550, in the next few weeks, because like I said, it's not going to take much because I've got so much cash on the books anyway. Any interest rate rises creates a huge tailwind. So yeah, look, absolutely. If I'm trading something, this is one of the easier trades actually, when you think about it, unless they just can't run, down to the ground where they can't actually manage properly. But that's the thing. Well, it should be okay.
We had we've got a lot of good stories. I particularly like the chart on this. SOL, we put it as a hot stock anyway. What about if we just write this one up as a trade?
Yeah, if you want. This is Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. It will probably go up and down, but generally I think you should get that 550 as long as we've got this higher interest rate environment still over the next 12 months.
Oh, I think if we buy it around this sort of 502, 503, we'd target that 545, Wolf.
Yep.
And you can have a stop loss.
That's the 10% right there, right? Or almost.
Yeah, you have a stop loss at say 479. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have to go all the way there. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds right.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
people should be looking probably this anyway because it's a decent story.
Then some more of the small ones, DUI, OBL, SIN, some of the pack, not crazy, it doesn't look too bad. PAI looks like it could go a little bit higher. Fisher and Paykel, absolute gem of a chart, which again we said not to. Promedicus looks like it's going to go for a little bit higher. I mean, CUV still there, right? So still looks like it's going to have one more week to me, but we'll see. In fact, let's have a look what it is doing. Is it going to have one more week? Let's have a look. Oh, hasn't already got going yet, but maybe, right? A little bit early in the piece. AVR, M7T, I still think looking good. Wolf, there you go, AVH. Now that was another interesting one, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
lot of things to play with, right? I think you've got a nice smorgasbord of stocks to choose from.
Yeah, this was interesting when you look at the down, it's the first time it's broken through trend. Now there is a danger buying these sort of stories, and ideally you could maybe wait till it swings and buy it on the next swing, which would be safer. But you know what? It's the stop loss is there. Had a lot of resistance at 210. So you've got a great stop loss and maybe even sort of, let's say 205 or 208, somewhere around there. So sort of your downside is that sort of, what would that be from 240, about 10%, 20%? But your upside could be enormous if it is the start of this stock rerunning again. So again, just
high risk, but yeah, I can see it, right? I can see it.
Yeah, you can see the trade. Interestingly, Auckland Airport having a go, having a move at last, and looking very, very good. A bit of support, and we don't have Port Sydney Airport anymore, do we? To trade.
No.
ALQ looking very, very good. QUB, I think looking excellent still. Air New Zealand, I don't mind that at all.
Almost a buy there, wasn't there?
Yeah. Even mad breakout, right?
I know. I'm just looking at it right now, David. It's like over $4 strongly out today.
Is there
going for it? It's actually going for it, man.
It is. Oh, yeah, absolutely superb. I mean, there's so many great ideas here to trade, right? SRG, global stable, obviously Drone Shield still looks like it could have another leg up.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. They had a big move up.
Our little favorites, Duratech.
Yeah, that's that's so funny. When we put that out, we never knew they're going to have a big announcement today, right? So this just shows the lesson. You've got to keep buying the momentum, and bang, up it goes. What
a simple job this is, Dave. Just buy momentum. Who would have thought of that?
Now CLX, which was a hot stock again, and I've got out of jail because I put that stupid stock in England. Was it for a hot stock? It didn't do very well, but I've got out of jail, Wolf, because I'm getting some big moves on all of the other hot stocks at the moment.
Yes. Well, the thing is, you're only human, Dave. You need to have a little blemish on your record, but you've got many winners on your side. So yes,
right.
Otherwise, we'd probably think you're a fraud. There's no way you can get everything right.
Oh God. CLX, Wolf. I think you know what? Again, I mentioned this on the hot stock, so it's sort of a hot stock again.
Yes.
And again, it's not. It's a mixture of the charts, but it's a mixture of the numbers. And if next year's numbers, if they're trading around 5 times, and they're still growing, you can see that this stock re-rating significantly. Come on.
It's already been re-rating since last August. Look at that. I mean, they've basically almost doubled since July, August last year.
But you feel a stock like CLX could trade a lot higher than 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've just said they're going to be 90% better than they were last year. So you can see this doubling from here still.
Yeah, you could, right? You could. And the only danger of this, I think, is so lightly traded, right? It's hard to get in, but you could argue just. I mean, one under 185. Just wait for some bad days. Wait for some sellers to come out, right?
Yep.
And I just get it. ECL SOP, which I think you spoke to with about Claude. Was this one you looked at? I think looks very, very good.
This one looks great.
Technology One looks very, very good. DTL again.
Yep. I thought about that one.
So I thought it had done enough. You remember we said last week we didn't go for it. I thought, come on, it's done enough, and let's go on with it. And hopefully it will this week. I mean, it's early days.
Well, the good thing, the good news is, and a lot of these stories look good, but I'm loving the fact that we got tailwinds from the US with NASDAQ, who had an absolutely amazing Friday, right? It went up 2.5% or something on those crazy lines. So let's hope the momentum carries through for the week, and you'll see some of these tech stocks having really big winners for us.
Yeah, again, obviously a CRN, and there's the number CSR looks good. And you know, like I always say, CYA. That looks very, very good. See what they're doing actually today. A bit more risky.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at CYA. See if they're going on with it. Yeah, a little bit. Not looking too bad at all, are they? So all we're doing here, guys, is obviously look at that VSL. I thought looks good. I have, again, it's long term, but when the chart looks better this week than last week when we actually put it on. SPQ. WR1, it had that breakout over 2. Respect the movement, respect the share price. ME1, and then BGD. So I thought there's a nice little array of stories there, Wolf, to have a look at. I'll write that little IAG up because I think it's a little insurer. I don't think we put a trade out as an insurer, but listen, there's plenty there, guys. There's plenty of interesting stuff that could have a little bit of a run, and I hope you enjoy those trades. On that note, Wolfie, I'd like to thank you very much, sir. Have a wonderful day. Oh, Wolf, by the way, your favorite stock?
Which one?
Love Group.
Oh, LAV came up with the update. Oh yeah.
Go on, tell us about Love Group.
Well, what is it to tell, Dave? A Love Group. I mean, the name says it all, doesn't it?
I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed we got a cut. And what do? They just put people in love.
Dating sites. Yeah, dating sites. You know, but the funny thing is, they're listed in Australia. They've got operations in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Thailand. So you know, the biggest market is Bangkok. I mean, can you get any more meme than that?
Well, no, definitely. That's where people find love nowadays, Wolf. But they've got Noon Swoon as well. So, but unfortunately, even though Wolf spends his whole life on these websites, everyone, and he's a member and he's spending a lot of money there, it's just not a buy for us. It's not a buy, but we love the fact that Love Group got listed on the ASX, and
we need a bit of love, don't we, on the ASX?
We need a bit of love. We need a bit of love, but certainly it's not a buy, but certainly one for the lonely people like Wolf to join up. And
no, I'm lonely. Thanks, Dave.
All right, see you, mate. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.